Go girl power. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are reacting to 100 years of fashion wedding dresses by glam.com. So let's get right into it. Oh. Ooh. Oh, okay. It's very covering, which is not surprising. It's 100 years, right? 100 years ago. I will say that it's very kind of cream coloured. I would expect it to be quite white, but it's cream. And then she's wearing the white gloves, which I kind of think cream and white are different shades. Also, there's not a lot of fit going on. Not that things need to be skin tight, because they don't. I do see a lot of these loose kind of styles coming back in fashion now. And funny that she's wearing that type of veil, because I do a lot of veils like that for brides, with the lace trim all the way around, and they sort of cover their face with it like the Virgin Mary. Interesting. Wow, did you see those flowers? Beautiful. You know what's funny? Well, they're saying it's from the 1915, but the lace that she's got on that veil, I've got that lace in the studio. So I'm not sure if that's a vintage lace or if they're kind of just making it vintage looking, which they might be. The dress might be vintage, I think it is, but I don't think the veil is. Oh, really interesting lace underneath. So this lace here, that is gorgeous. It's like leaves and yeah, really interesting. Really, really interesting. I've never seen a print like that before. Minimal makeup too. Again with the cream. It's kind of weird, isn't it? I would have expected dresses in those days to all be white. But, you know, I'm not that great with fashion history, so maybe they did have white dresses and they've just chosen these kind of styles. I'm not sure. Oh, the pearls are gorgeous. Not into the weird lips with it only sort of painted in the middle. That's strange. The pearls also don't sit straight. They're kind of a bit jiggly, but we get the idea. Really interesting headpiece. Oh, that skirt is, I mean, it's a bit ugly. This is in the 20s. Yes, it looks very 20s, but I kind of thought, like, to me there's different styles and elements that represent different eras, right? So in some, like in this era, they had like that drop waist, they had a very loose fit on the top, which is very in with the 1920s. But for me, that still needs to be flattering. So even if you've got those different silhouettes, they still need to be flattering. To me, that skirt is not flattering. And this chick is a model. So you can imagine any person off the street has got no hope of not looking like they're pear-shaped with that dress. Oh, gorgeous. I love the slip dress underneath. Absolutely love that. The nightgown on top, I'm liking that too. I probably wouldn't choose such a busy lace. And that detail in the sleeve that actually sort of angles a little bit is quite popular too. I've done quite a few gowns with an angled sleeve like that. You know, if someone wanted me to replicate this dress, I could do it. Probably wouldn't do it in the cream colour. Not really in love with the cream. It looks a bit dirty to me. But I could do it. 30s. Okay, a lot of people don't talk much about the 30s, I don't think. But this silhouette is a really timeless, simple silhouette. So I'm quite surprised. Oh, this is, we've gone back in time quite a couple of hundred years, don't you think? This is like peasant clothes. This does not look like the 40s. Not from my memory. Wow, okay. What are they putting on her head? Oh, okay. All of a sudden, in a click, she became glamorous 40s. See how different you can look with the hair done, makeup, jewelry. Wow, what a change. What an absolute change. That neckline is very 40s now. Whereas before I couldn't see it, which was very strange. Gorgeous. I've gone from thinking it was peasant to it being gorgeous. A little bit short for her, but obviously they can't do anything about that. I love that hairstyle. I wish I could have that hairstyle. I wonder if I would suit it. Short hairstyles don't suit me because I've got quite big features, but I've always wanted that sweeping curling. Anyway. A lot of like ruching, you know, gathering and ruching around the body. It's gorgeous. Beautiful dress. I love that it's simple. I love that there's no lace. It's just really classic simple. You would love that even now. If you got married back then, if you got married back then and then you saw your dress now, you would still love it. It's one of those pieces that even though it's era based, it's still timeless. It's classic, I guess, is the word.
Lovely starshine lights my way to bed. Magic rain.
Oh, 50s. I was expecting more from the 50s. Okay, I'm gonna wait to hold my judgment because last time I spoke too soon. Lace is too busy. Too busy.
Blows glisten in my head. Just like a child, I live in Wonderland. All my dreams.
Again, that lace, I could find something very, very similar. The T-length, I do a lot of T-length gown dresses, and you have to be really careful because they can make you short. They can stunt your growth. So you got to pick the right height, and you got to make sure they're not too full if you don't have the height, because they can make you look even shorter. I don't mind this style. I probably wouldn't have used that lace. I think it's too busy for that style. But that's if I'm creating it now, you know. We're talking about the 50s here. I was expecting a full length for the 50s because in their evening gowns they have a lot of this style, but I wouldn't think it would transition into bridal, but I could be wrong.
Dreams are coming true.
It is pretty cute, isn't it? Don't like what's happening at the top here. Something is ill-fitting and it's really bothering me. I just want to go in there and put pins in it and fix it. Oh, the bow. Let's go back. Wow. That bow is out there, right? This is the 60s. Cute. I don't see a lot of that embroidered satin anymore with the beading. I don't do a lot of that. I don't see a lot of that. It must have been very, I think they did it right through to the 80s from memory. Interesting. What did they say that was the 60s? Yeah, 65. Interesting. I don't know what I would have said a dress in the 60s would look like, but that would not have been what I would have chosen. Is that weird? It's very plain. The bow. The bow is where it's at, isn't it? That bow is like, bam, I'm getting married. Oh, 70s. Wowzers. This is like we've stepped back in time. Those sleeves are very old English castle-esque. Very interesting that there was like a little moment with those sleeves. I don't recall those sleeves at all from the 70s. But you know, the hairpiece, the necklace, she's not wearing any shoes, you know, it's hippies. So the 70s is probably equivalent to like boho these days. Boho bridal stuff is like similar to the 70s, but in a, you know, a modernized way. Oh my God. Firstly, I love the quick changes. This is looking cray cray. Like, this is crazy. But you know what? This is exactly what I remember the 80s being like with wedding dresses. Take a look at Princess Diana. You know, her dress was pufferama. And that was a big reason why most of us do not want taffeta on our wedding dresses anymore. This is not made from taffeta, which is unusual. Yeah, let's look at the finished look. Whoa. Okay. Okay, one thing I will say, I'm trying to just stop it in a good spot, but I don't think I can. To me, if I'm just doing the basics here, you know, I'm not going to mock the designs too much because they're from an era. And there was a reason why those things were in fashion at that time. But to me, I look at this and the lace and the fabric are two completely different colors. Now, this could have been discoloration from how the gown was packed, and that's why after a wedding it really needs to be packed well with acid-free paper and etc, so it can breathe. If it can't breathe and it's in like a plastic bag or in a suit bag that's not a breathable suit bag, then it's going to discolor, and this can happen. Now, this might not be discoloration. This might be how the dress was, which I think it was. And the lace there looks cream and the dress looks white or ivory. And there's this disconnect between the lace pieces. They kind of don't blend into one very well. If I was designing this dress, I would make sure that those two colors were the same. Like I said, it could not have been like that originally. Maybe it got discolored in the bag, or maybe it didn't, and maybe it was made like that. Very full, very heavy. The gum's a bit much, isn't it? Like, no one would really be chewing gum like that on their wedding day. Yeah, the lace. You know, I love that puff sleeve, and I think puffy sleeves are actually coming back in, but I think they've got to be done right. And if I was designing this dress today, I would probably make it a slim gown all the way down to the floor with a bit of extra fabric, you know, the fall from the waist fitted at the hips and the thighs, and it sort of just drops down. I think that'd be gorgeous. And you could still even keep those sleeves, and I'd probably even make like the bottom part of the skirt sheer to make it just a little bit more modern and sort of make it not as heavy as well. Wow, that's beautiful. That's really classic. Love the jewelry. Wow, okay, I was not expecting this from the 90s, but that is beautiful. That is probably my favorite era so far. The fabric is beautiful. It looks like a silk blend, like a silk satin or something like that. It looks kind of relaxed because it's not fully structured in the skirt, but it's got that beautiful off the shoulder detail, which is nice. It's got a couple of little things across the waist which give it a little bit of interest, but it's not over the top. This dress is really timeless. Really, really beautifully timeless. I would, if I was recreating this dress, I would make the bodice a little bit more structured and secure so it sits flatter. I would make the sleeves a little bit more firm, and I'd probably make it in maybe a stretch so that it just sits on the body like it's part of your skin. I would still make the skirt exactly the same, but I would probably add some pockets to the side because I think this kind of dress loans to having some invisible pockets. Gorgeous. Oh, I love this too because it's so simple, and I love her headpiece. That's what I would want, just some netting over my face, half one eye. I like the simple detailing. I do quite a lot of gowns like this. Not quite that silhouette. That's a little bit of a stiff like silhouette down the bottom because of the fabric, but I would use a lighter weight fabric so it flows a little bit better and is sort of more hugging. Love her hair though. Gorgeous. That is beautiful. Really love that. And the jewelry is simple, you know, it's got sparkle, but they're not like big sort of things. Yeah, gorgeous. Now, before I say anything. Okay, so this kind of style is getting pretty close to what I do from a day-to-day basis. Full lace, sheath style gown, different type of necklines. Gorgeous. Not into this mesh bit up the top. I think that's a little bit heavy. Could maybe loosen that a bit. But this kind of style was very popular and still is popular. Oh, female groom. So I thought it was way before 2015 that we're doing that. No, we obviously weren't. My bad. Go girl power. Wow. That's it, guys. That is it. I can't believe that. I don't know why I was expecting like some for today, but I was wrong. Well guys, short and sweet. I hope you liked that video. Some really interesting styles there that I was not expecting, and then I was also pleasantly surprised with the 90s and how beautiful gowns were then. I really didn't see that coming because I was born in the 80s, so I kind of, you know, I was in my teens in the 90s and I could really remember a lot of the fashion, and it did not look like that. So there you go. I hope you got something out of it. It's interesting to see some of those elements still being used today, and what elements have come and gone again, and the different types of laces that were used, because we're still kind of using some of those now. So, you know, the traditional French laces that I use all the time, I was seeing in some of those earlier dresses. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do, so the algorithm knows that you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already if you'd like to see more reaction videos. I do videos on wedding dresses, on fashion, and a whole lot of other things. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.